everyone. This is Karen Urrutia, Firm Foundation Finances, Lighthouse Realty. I wanted to reach out because I know the climate has changed. Listings are on the market. They're sitting on the market a while. Buyers were a pain a couple of months ago because we couldn't get them into escrow. Now we're looking for buyers like crazy because we have listings and buyers are hesitant to buy because rates are so high. So I have a lot of individuals approaching me and they're asking, what do we do? I'm having an issue. What's the next step? I'm in real estate. I'm in it. I want it. But how can I take it to the next level? What do I need to do so that I can close more deals? So my question to you is, are you interested in knowing how to close more deals? Are you tired of getting clients that want to buy but don't qualify? Are you working hard? I mean, you're really working hard. You're trying, you're prospecting, you're going out there, but you aren't seeing the fruits of your labor. And you're sitting there and you're thinking, okay, what's going on? I'm working my butt off. I'm talking to people. I'm getting people that are interested, but I can't get any of these people to pull the trigger, to qualify. What's happening? Well, let me tell you something. Knowing where to fish is as important as fishing in itself. So first of all, you have to prospect, right? So let's turn around that analogy of fishing. And somebody goes out, they wake up early and they go fishing. Okay. What they bring home really depends on if they had the right bait, where they went fishing, and how hard they went fishing, right? So it's not like you can throw your the bait farther or whatnot, but you really have to go out there at the right time and the right location. And that's really important, guys, because just because you go out there and you're moving your butts and you're trying to work doesn't mean you're going to be able to catch any fish. Just because you woke up early to go fishing, but you go to the wrong place, you're going to probably, throw your line, but what you pull in might be fish, but they might be these little fish that are just too little, or they might not be any good, or you might have to be throwing them back because you know what? They're not the clients, they're not the fish that you wanted. So let's, like I said, put in that prospect instead of fishing. So when we're looking, we have to really look at what I call CIA. So CIA is something I came up with, I don't even know, maybe 10, 15 years ago. And I say CIA because it sticks in everybody's head, right? CIA, what is it? Okay, CIA, credit, income, assets. When you go fishing, when you go looking, you don't have to just go fishing. You have to actually fish in the right pond. All right, what does that mean? It means that when you go out there, you have to hit 2 out of the 3. And when I say 2 out of 3, that means they either have to have credit, income, or assets. And I'll go over what each of these means, but you have to hit 2 out of 3. If you do not hit 2 out of the 3, that's a fish you're going to be throwing back. Okay, guys? That's something that you're not going to be able to unfortunately work with, especially in this kind of climate. So C, credit. When we're talking about credit, it's not just what's on the credit. Oh, they have a great credit score. No. What's on the credit? Do you have BKs? Do you have bankruptcies? Do you have short sales? What's on there? Do you have enough revolving accounts? How long have they had credit? If they have a 750 FICO, but they've only had credit for 6 months, many times right now, the AUSs, DUs, LPs, underwriting is not letting those go by. They want credit depth which means they need time with their credit. You want 2-3 years of them paying their stuff on time, minimum, okay? And if they don't have it, talk to me. There's ways to work with that, but you're looking at what's on the credit, how long they've had the credit, and what the credit score is. Right now, it's really difficult. If you're under 600 FICO, you need to have money. It's difficult because the rates are so high. There's really no credit on the rates. They've got to come in with money. All right, which brings us to income, the money, right? In terms of how much you're making every month. How long have they had this income? All right, so if they just started a job and they've been there a week, okay, we really have to consider, is it the same industry? Have they changed industry? Or is this just a brand new job? But really the length on their job is very important. The industry they're in, if they change from one job they had been on for 5 years to a new job because they're making more money, hey, that makes sense. But if you're telling me they were a truck driver and now they're working at a restaurant and they've only been there for 2 weeks, all right, guys, we really got to think about this. Because does a skill set from a truck driver transfer over to a cook? Not really, right? That's something you really have to look at. The likelihood of continued income, that's really important. So just because they're making $10,000 right now, $12,000 right now, are they going to be making that in a year, 2 years, 3 years? The likelihood of continued employment is very important because we're giving them a 30-year loan, a 15-year-old loan, a 20-year-old, loan. It's not a loan for a month, or 2 months, a year. It's a long-term loan. So you got to make sure their income is steady and consistent for the long term. Does the income conform to the industry income standards? All right. If you got one person that works at McDonald's and they're making 20 grand and everybody else in their same position makes 3 grand, does that make sense? We've got so many programs popping up right now where it's like written VOE, but really they think about it and they say, okay, does it make sense to what the industry is and what their job is? So guys, when you're looking at something, think if this was your money, would you let this person borrow it? Because I always say you have to convince yourself first before you can go and try to convince the bank or the underwriter. All right. What is the income? Does it conform to the industry? And then the third one is assets. And that's how much you're going to put down. And just because you have a ton of money down doesn't mean you can use it, guys. How much are they putting down? That's number one. They're putting 20, 30%. Great. But where is that money coming from? How long have they had that money? Did it just like fall out of the sky? Is it mattress money? You guys know that the money cannot be just, money that appears out of nowhere. It has to be sourced and seasoned. That means, where did it come from? Can we provide a paper trail for it? How long have you had it? If you've had that money and it did come out of the sky, but you've had it in your account for 6 months, then the lender says, hey, I don't know where it came from, but you've had it for 6 months, so obviously it's yours. All right, so that's something you got to think about. CIA, credit, income, and assets. So when you're going to go fish, you say, I got to have 2 out of the 3. So I have to find people in industries that have the credit, and you don't know, but there are certain industries that have individuals that have poor credit all the time. And I'm not going to go over what those industries are, but I've noticed that there are patterns. Income, how long have they had their job, right? The consistency, the ability to prove their income. This is where I love employment that comes from the government, from county jobs, from hospitals, the nurses, the teachers, the officers, the firemen, all those, because you know what? The likelihood of proving their income, it's a snap. They're going to have income. And guess what they're going to have? They're mostly going to have assets because they're going to have some kind of 401k or something tucked away in terms of retirement account. So usually that gives us 2 out of 3. If they have kind of crappy credit, then that'll be okay because it's only 1 out of 3 that doesn't work. But if you have somebody that's self-employed and they don't really report their income and they keep their money cash at home, and then their credit isn't always the best, man, you don't even have 1 out of 3. Or if you have somebody that has excellent credit, but you can't prove their income and the money isn't in the bank, that's another issue. But if you've got 2 out of the 3, we can always figure it out. We can try a bank statement program. We can try something where they're putting more money down. There are alternatives. There's 1-year tax programs. Guys, there's ways to be creative, but you have to know how to fish and where to fish. So get involved with individuals in programs, health fairs. Talk to individuals at hospitals. Hey, can I host a meeting? Can I go talk to your people? Can I let them know what programs are available? Can I go down to the fire department and just give you guys some bagels and donuts and tell you what programs we have? Okay, we need buyers, because realistically, individuals refinancing are those that are in an issue right now where they're refinancing or they're having some kind of trouble and they need to pull money out. And if that's the case, talk to your attorneys, your CPAs, because they know about these cases when somebody passes away and they have to do certain transactions with the home, irregardless of what the rates are. Now, one more thing on top of CIA, knowing where to fish, the property. This comes into play, especially on refinances. What is the property condition? Is it habitable? All right. Can you live in it? Is the water working? Utilities working? Everything so the way it's supposed to be. No holes in the wall. Broken windows, all that stuff. Mainly, they are looking for health and safety repairs. I always tell people you could have green carpets and Pepto-Bismol walls, but as long as everything works, who cares? Does the property conform to the zoning? If you've got a house and it's in a commercial zone, many times we have to get a rebuild letter, and those can be difficult to obtain. Look at the property. If it's 5 little houses and it's a SFR, is that going to be financeable? Probably not. So you look at, does the house conform to what all the houses around it are like, how big they are, the value of the home. Okay, guys? So these are little tips. Start opening your eyes, opening your ears. Where can I go fishing? Where can I start talking to people that are going to have the CIA so that I can make it a very speedy, quick transaction? We just had one transaction that we closed so quickly because they had an employment where they were always in front of the computer. It was in, it was out, it was great. They had an amazing experience with us. Why? Because they were great clients. Clients that have the worst experiences with you are usually the ones that are not very good clients because they got something going on and it's projected onto you. So if you can find better quality clients, you're going to be able to give them better quality service because of who they are and not necessarily who you are. All right, guys, I hope these tips helped out. Remember CIA, remember where you're fishing and what you're fishing for. Know where to fish, CIA. All right, guys, talk to you soon. You guys have a blessed day.